Like, you know what? I think 2018 is like the year that I'm going to, live abroad, even if it's for 6 months. Like, that's
Right.
more than enough time to kind of like get acclimated to a place to say I did it, I enjoyed it, and, I figured it out from there. And so last December, I actually spent the new year in Johannesburg. And I had been to South Africa before, but it was definitely like the super touristy, like safari, Cape Town, came
Right.
back home. And so going to Johannesburg, I went for Afropunk, and it was a bunch of friends there, and it was just this amazing time, this amazing energy, and then seeing all these, like, Black people. And I live in Atlanta, so I'm based in Atlanta, so it just kind of, like, had that comparison of, like, successful Black people. And then I'm on the continent of all things, right? Like,
wow.
I'm here with the original people, and here's, like, all these beautiful Black folks from all over the continent, all over the world here working, flourishing. And like I said, the energy was amazing, and it's decent, like the new year, and it's their summertime. So, summer also has like this energy, right, where, like, everybody loves summer. And so I was like, this is it. I'm moving here. I got to figure out how to make this happen, but I'm going to move here. And so June came around, and actually June is our summer, but it's their winter. But I was like, you know what? Even though it's going to be cold, I'm going to move there for the winter and then, just make it work. And that's exactly what I did. So I booked a one-way, and I just said when I get there, I'll have an Airbnb for a week, and then I'll just figure it out from there. And so that's exactly what I did. So I have been there since June, and I'm still in Johannesburg, South Africa, and it's an amazing place. It's an amazing experience. I've met some great friends. I've, started another business, made some connections. Like, it's just been wild, but amazing. And I think it's one of those things, like, if you have the opportunity to live abroad, even if it's for 3 months, even if it's for 6 months, like, just go ahead and do it, because you have no idea the sort of doors that will open for you that you just never thought could be possible.
Did you have any friends there before you went, or you just made your connections once you got there?
Yeah, so when I was there for the new year, I had met a few people that I was cool with, but they, at that time, I wasn't going to say, like, these are, like, my BFFs.
Right.
But it doesn't take long, like, at least in South Africa, the people are super duper friendly. And because Johannesburg is it's kind of like the New York of the continent. So there's just people from all over the world, lots of other expats. So I just utilized my network. I got on Facebook and different Facebook groups and kind of like reached out and said, hey, I live here now. Who wants to hang out? And then I just was able to, like, create a network of people from there. So it was actually pretty easy.
Okay. Because I know that's one, a lot of people's fear. They're like, well, if I'm going by myself and I don't really work anywhere and I have my own business, how do I meet people? And but you just made it sound so easy. Like, just tap into community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, social media just makes it so much easier. I think maybe before social it could have been a little bit more difficult, but now it's literally you get on Facebook. There's different Facebook groups. I mean, you can even search a hashtag like, expats or, African expats or whatever. I took some time and just, like, search different hashtags to see, like, who's here, who can I reach out to. And it really just takes connecting with one or two people and who can, like, put you in, like, the network or in the inner circle, and then you can kind of create your tribe from there.
Yeah. What surprised you the most about Johannesburg while you've been there?
I would say what surprised me the most is, like, the access to anything, really. So I found that, like, a lot of times when celebrities are in the country, it's very easy for you to talk to them, just because no one is, like, really hype. Like I said, I'm based in Atlanta, so you know how that can be.
Right.
But no one is, like, super hype. Everyone is, it's, like, easy to access people and talk to people, and it's also easy to access the type of resources that you need. And so, like I said, I was able to come to Johannesburg and start, my boutique travel company, right? And really just to, get on the ground, meet some vendors, and say, hey, look, I would love to partner with you. You're a Black-owned company here in South Africa. How can we work together? And it's like, okay, cool. Like, let's partner together. Let's sit down. So it's very easy for me or for anyone to access the sort of resources, the sort of people, the sort of experiences that you desire to have. Which, like I said, I found in the States is not as easy. There seems to be like, I mean, it depends on the city, I guess, but, you know, you may have to go through some tapes and some red tape, people, levels, egos, whatever. But in South Africa, it's very much like, this is what I'm here, this is what I want to do. Who can you connect me with? And if there's someone who can't help you, then they'll say, I can't help you, but I know someone who can. Let me send you an email with their contact, or I'll make the connection. So I found that it was very easy to come here. Like I said, I've been here since June, and I've, started a business that's doing quite well,
Yes, and I would love to talk about that. It's called Destination Done Travel. Would you like to tell us a little bit about your travel company?
Sure. So one of the things that I found, I've traveled to over 60 countries, which has been such a blessing.
That's very impressive. Yeah.
But thank you. But one of the things that I've just found from connecting with my audience is that a lot of people want to come to the continent, but there's just so much misinformation about Africa. And traveling to Africa, like what to do when you get here, safety concerns, et cetera, right? And that's like, I have a whole theory about why that happens, but, that's neither here nor there. We don't have time. But I wanted to create, experiences for people to come to the continent and have these beautiful and authentic experiences without worrying about all those other elements or that level of propaganda that it's not safe, that it's not developed, that it's not any of those things. And because I knew I was going to be living there, and because I was already living in South Africa, I knew it would be at least easy for people to trust my judgment, because it's not like in Atlanta trying to curate experiences in South Africa. It's like, no, I'm here, I live here, I know my vendors, like I personally am friends with my vendors, and I know how they run businesses. Like I have a team that I've vetted, the different experiences with, and so that was my goal, is really to bridge that cultural connection and that gap between the Black diaspora in the States and then those of us and us on the continent, right? And how can we put money back into each other? And that was another big thing I wanted to do. So I only work with, if I can help it, I only work with Black-owned companies, right? Like only Black-owned vendors, because, there's a lot of travel companies on the entire continent that are white-run. And not that that's a bad thing, but why would I come all the way to Africa and put my money in somebody that's not native to the land?
Right.
And that's just something that I was like, no. I want to be able to, support these other businesses. And, everyone wants to kind of tap into American travelers, and specifically Black American travelers. And because I am a thought leader in this particular, targeted group of people, I just found that it was kind of an easy thing to do and to curate. So it's been doing pretty well.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. Now, are you going to do it just in South Africa, or would it be throughout the entire continent?
Well, for now, I want to kind of master South Africa.
Makes sense,
I've learned, through this entrepreneurial journey, is to master where you are. So for now, we are focusing on South Africa. And South Africa is such a huge country, and there's mountains, there's beaches, there's deserts, there's all this stuff that you can experience in this one place. Now, also, I will say it's not just South Africa, it's actually Southern Africa. So I have an experience that goes to, it's called Eswatini, but it used to be the Kingdom of Swaziland. So we have an experience where we do South Africa and Eswatini as well. So definitely focusing on, the countries in Southern Africa for now. So obviously, in the future, we probably will expand. But right now, I'm like, let me master where I am.
Yeah, and there's a lot to see there. Because you've been to like different parts of Southern Africa. You were showing you went to
Yes.
Mozambique. You went to
Yes.
Lesotho. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Lesotho.
Yeah, Lesotho. Yeah, and it looks beautiful based on your footage. It was really nice. And you could go skiing there. So that's exciting.
Absolutely. Yeah, so many different things to do. So, like I said, I'm like, let us master where we are. Even in South Africa, there's an area called the Wild Coast. So it's along the eastern cape of the country. So it's very warm, but it's beautiful and it's like untouched. So you can still have this like very like authentic African experiences with like, you know, traditional huts and homes like that are right on the beach, and you know there's like whales that are just like jumping and flashing.
Oh, that's amazing.
You know, in the water. But yeah, these like super amazing authentic experiences that, you know, don't cost much because they're unspoiled, you know.
Yeah, and then just by booking online, you won't get those experiences that you could provide to these customers because you're there. You know exactly where to go. So it makes it a whole lot easier.
And it's hard to find them, or even, again, to know, like, how do I navigate through this? Like, what do I need? You know, how can I have this experience and make sure it's the most comfortable experience as well? So it's been a lot of fun, you know, creating this new venture.
Yeah, and it's exciting because I'm sure you're curating it to their interest. So you could take them to, like, the restaurants that they would like to check out, and you have the insider's knowledge.
Yes.
That's awesome. So it's called Destination Done Travel. How can people learn more about it?
So you can follow us at Destination Done on Instagram, and then DestinationDoneTravel.com. So we have a Mother's Day in the Motherland experience that's happening in May, and then we have 2 more experiences that are happening at the end of 2019. We may be launching some more. We have a few other things cooking in the pot, but for now, we have a little bit of something for different needs. Nice.
I like that Mother's Day one.
Yay.
Yeah. So what advice can you give to individuals who are interested in becoming an expat entrepreneur? Because I know your other company, Rachel Travels, you also provide people with the tools and knowledge of how to grow a profitable business while they're growing.
So I would say, to be an influencer or to move abroad and do this?
Oh, to move abroad but still have a business that could support their lifestyle.
Okay, so my biggest advice is when it comes to creating a business that is sustainable is to make sure that there is as much automation and systems in place as possible. So, you know, there are so many types of businesses out there, and many of our businesses we can take online. But I found that with a lot of entrepreneurs, you know, we end up trying to do all the work ourselves. You know, like, I got to do this. I have to, you know, respond to these emails. I have to fix this thing, right? And I've been guilty of that because I'm, like, very intuitive, and I actually like to learn all the parts of my business so I can fix things quickly if they go wrong. But it's also very important to like, study tools that can automate your business as much as possible. So I'll give you, like, just a quick example of that. When it comes to social media, or even as a blogger, right? So I use a certain tool where I had my virtual assistant, which, again, that's help that you know, can pay for. You can get a virtual assistant for like $6 an hour or something like that, right? But I had them schedule, like, take all the blog posts from my blog, RachelTravels.com, and actually there was a tool that uploaded it for you. But what it does is, like, it's called Evergreen. So every day, like, I could create a schedule, and every day it's like tweeting out a different blog post. Although it's something I written like in 2016, it's constantly tweeting it out or putting it on Facebook. So there's content constantly flowing on my different social media channels. And so that's just a way that you can automate traffic. you can automate sales. So I'm not making sales. I'm not literally launching or pitching something every day. There's just offers going out, through my social media. So when